The biggest challenges project managers faces today is that project management is rapidly changing. What we see in project management is that there is more and more focus from the project managers on business case management, so they need to be more aware of business cases, risk management and stakeholder engagement. That means that the project manager is not only looking at the work which needs to be done, but especially needs to deal with the environment around the project. What we see is that traditionally project managers are matured out of technical functions, and in the new role which project managers currently have, it is we ask different competences from them and we need to develop them. And what we see is that the current methods and the current way of working in project management is being challenged by the fact that there is more stakeholder management, business case management involved, due to the fact that the whole economic climate and social climate is rapidly changing in organizations. Three reasons why large projects fail is: one, due to the lack of a good solid business case and the whole business case focusing on projects, in large projects. Most of the time these large projects are very focused on budget and time instead of looking at the whole business case and the whole recap of business case during the project. The second failure reason is the fact that we tend to forget that large projects involve a lot of people and most of the time have a long time, and that if a project runs longer than a year, we have a need for clear stage boundaries, and that within the project you need to use one method, so that means that everybody is speaking the same language, but also that you need to look at the projectivity of the project, which means that you have to look, is everybody still capable of working in this way, and that you need to mature that the whole time. The third reason why large projects are failing is due to the time. Large projects are most of the time set in a certain time frame, and because they take longer than a year, and some of the times even 2 or 10 years, due to the fact that the whole environment is currently changing so rapidly, people look back and they think, okay, we set it up 2 years ago, but it's absolutely not applicable anymore to the current situation in the organization or in the environment, and we need to change it. And that's, for example, one of the biggest failure reasons for large infrastructure projects, because everybody's always, what we call in the Netherlands, talking about, do we really need this after 2 or 3 years? And that's because of the fact that the business case was not set up properly. Three reasons why whether there's a huge benefit of using PRINCE2 in large projects is: one, the fact that PRINCE2 is business case focused. That means that there's continually a focus on business case. Second of all, because it is a best practice method and it has a very certain way of language and a very clear report and decision taking structure, it is sustainable over a longer period. And the third reason is a very simple reason. PRINCE2 is widely implemented in all kinds of countries. It's currently being translated in 35 languages and it's been recognized in 69 countries. That means that almost everybody has heard about it and have the possibility to gain knowledge about it, and therefore it is a good way of using that method with the roles and responsibilities in large projects. Point.
Are there any risks?
One of the challenges I see as a consultant is that a lot of organizations use PRINCE2, and one of the biggest pitfalls is that we train all the project managers and we put them through the foundation and practitioner training, which is quite good. However, just training your project managers means that you lose two big elements. That's one, you also have to look at the whole process, and two, you have to look at the techniques. Only training people doesn't work. You need to look at the broader organizational perspective and mature the organization in thinking about projects. 90% of the projects are failing in organization due to a lack of decision taking, or no clear decision taking, no clear, for example, executive structure in it. Therefore, using PRINCE2 is very good in your organization, but you need to be aware it's not only about training, it's about maturing project management and PRINCE2 use in your organization. An average organization will take up to 4 years to really mature the use of PRINCE2 in their organization. Three key elements in using PRINCE2 in your organization is that you need to think about the decision taking, and there is something they call two-dimensional trilateral decision taking, looking at the perspective of the executive, user and supplier, looking at benefits, risk profiling and dependencies in the project. That needs to be in place. If that is in place, then the decision taking will be done on a proper way around projects. Second one is that there is an organizational focus on using PRINCE2. A project process in an organization from start to end does not stand on its own. It's always interfaced with all kinds of other processes, and you need to make sure that these interfaces are being dealt with properly. The third thing, I'm coming back to training and back to culture. Training is a very good thing, but an examination does not mean that we have good project managers. They need to practice that. That means that you have to actively in your organization practice the use of a method in simulations or in other ways. If you don't do that, it just stays training, and we get very trained and skilled theoretical people, but they don't know how to apply it. One of the major pitfalls in using PRINCE2 is implementing templates. Implementing templates isn't a solution for bad project management or maturing project management. Templates are needed to make sure that we do things in the same way and we can compare things. But templates doesn't need to be rigid. People need to have the freedom to tailor them for their own projects.